Good morning, everyone. Okay, so today's my driving vlog is not going to be about me or whatever's going on at work or whatnot. It's going to be about, your little animal pets that are also your family, and what to do and what not to do. And I'm going to focus on what I have right now and what I used to have. So here's the backstory. I had a cockatiel for 21 years, and that little bird, since the first day I got him, when he was like a week old, I think, or so, they gave him to us. We had a family friend that bred them, and she gave me one. Anyway, I don't want to get into a very detailed story, but that bird was with us for 21 years. And I remember the first time I held him, he actually bit me and made me bleed because, I don't know, I was like, okay, I guess he was just leaving his mark on me, I guess. 21 years later, and that bird was still going and going and going. Never, he went through episodes where he molted, his leaves grew out, his feathers. He's not a tree, he's not Groot. His feathers grew out and everything, but he was always a little happy bird. He never let us handle him a lot because he was always like hissing. That's what birds do. They hiss at you and they feel threatened. So he was more he let my mom handle him more than I could, but for 21 years he was like just the happiest bird, singing every morning. He would wake us up when we would eat dinner, like, and his cage was next to our dinner table. He would start eating dinner with us at the same time. He would fly out of his cage. He was never a caged bird. We never cut his feathers so that he couldn't fly. He lived a happy life. 21 years, never once did I have to take him to the vet. One day, one afternoon, I woke up after a nap and I didn't have my glasses on, and I was like, I saw him, like, he used to also walk at the bottom of the cage, because sometimes his food would fall to the bottom of the cage, and I saw him there, and I'm like, why is he not moving? And then that's when we realized that he had passed away. But it was 21 years, and I looked that up, and it's 89 years. So 21 cockatiel years equals 89 adult years. So he lived a long, happy life, and I'm very happy that he's resting now, and I miss him a lot. So I didn't want to replace him right away. My mom was actually the one that was hurt the most. She was like crying, and we all cried. Everybody cried. Caleb cried, I cried, my mom cried, everybody. We were all crying. And everybody was like in shock because everybody knew our little bird. We would always upload videos of him. Okay, so my mom actually threw away, I don't know if she actually left the cage outside for somebody if they wanted to take it, and we threw away I kept his mirrors as a memory, and okay, so that was that. But then having a 5-year-old who just recently turned 6, he like kept saying he wanted a pet, and so we went to the big brands. We went to PetSmart. We went looking at Petco. And we were just looking, and he kept saying he wanted a guinea pig. And I've had a guinea pig in the past before, and they're adorable pets, but they don't have very long lifespans. And mine actually, it was just a horrible, tragic mistake that one day my mom left the back, our back porch door open. Not that she didn't close the glass, she just left the screen, and his cage was close to there, so he got the cold air coming in that night, and then he started having breathing problems, and then they told me he had pneumonia, and it was like my first ever time ever dealing with vets and everything, and I had to pay like $300 for them to, no, it was like $400 for him to just be cremated, for them to just, I couldn't afford the operation. They had to take, open him up and get the liquid out of his lungs, and I was just like, no, I couldn't. And I was so depressed. Yeah, so I was, when Caleb kept saying he wanted a guinea pig, I was just like, no guinea pigs, please. No, thank you. And then, mouses and rats, those are also cute, but they have very short lifespans. And it's like, I don't want something that's you're gonna, have for a year or two and grow attached to it, and then, oops, it's time for him to die already, from old age. So no, I didn't want something with a short lifespan. So we went to this new store, and this is why you should do your research on any animal possible before you buy it. And I did not do my homework, and I usually do my homework, but I didn't, and this is where it got me. We went to this new, it wasn't a big, they have a store in Stockton and Manteca and in Modesto. It's like a family-owned business with pets, and this was during the COVID-19 time. So a lot of pet stores like PetSmart and Petco didn't have any new animals because they weren't getting shipments or anything. So we went to this store. I just found it, and we went, and I was like, do you have any live animals? And he was like, oh yeah, we have this. Oh my goodness, they had so many animals, and they have beautiful birds of all kinds, of all sizes. Beautiful, beautiful birds that are like over $3,000 for one bird. It's like, they are worth the price. But I was just like, okay, that's a little too much. My stimulus check ain't gonna cover that. So anyway, we ended up getting. So he was like, okay, so you want something that, he offered me an iguana, and he actually was letting people hold them, and I was like, okay, I'll hold the iguana. I'm not like terrified of animals or anything like that. So he was letting me hold the iguana, but the iguana was already almost, I think he was already an adult. He was very moving and not trying to get away from me, and he had humongous claws. And so, they actually, when he was getting the iguana and he handed it over to me, it scratched the owner, or the owner's brother, and he was like, oh, it scratched him up pretty bad. And I was trying to hold on to it, but it kept trying to get away from me, and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna get away from me. And obviously, even though my Caleb, who is like a top fan of Jurassic World and loves raptors, he literally saw a mini version of a raptor in my hands, and he was horrified, and he was like, no, and he wouldn't come close to it. And I was like, okay, I understand. This thing is it wasn't tame at all. So then he was like, well, maybe if you want something for this little guy, he's like, you should get bearded dragon. He's like, we have baby bearded dragons. They're the most chill animals. They'll sit on your lap. They won't move. They'll they'll be pretty chill. They love to. And then I was like, okay. So he picked one out, and he was like, this one's my favorite little guy, and he gave it to me. And it was such a little tiny baby. He was about 4 months old, he said, and it was adorable. And even then, Caleb didn't want to touch him or anything. But I was like, okay, I think we can do something. We can definitely work out with this. And so we got him, and I remember I asked him, I'm like, is it good? Because I was like going all out. So we got this reptile habitat that came with a bunch of stuff in it already, with the heat lamps, because I wasn't, you know, I didn't know we were going to get that at that moment. So I was like, please educate me. And so he was like, okay, you need this, you need the lighting, you need the UVB lamp, you need the basking light, you need this, you need that, you need crickets, you need, okay. So he gave me all the details, and I remember I asked him, do I buy a pair, or do I just buy one? And he was like, well, you know, all animals like companions, even us humans. He like made a joke out of it. I was like, okay, so I'll buy another one. So I bought two. That was the first mistake right there, because I got home later and I found out that while these animals are very chill with humans, they're both males, so they're very territorial and aggressive towards each other. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then, you know, I was looking at, you know, oh my god. So I was just like, but these are just babies. Maybe when they grow up, I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do. And then there were people, you know, on YouTube channels saying, well, you can, you know, if you have two males, you can get a big tank and, you know, just divide the tank into two and make sure that they don't, you know, interact with each other, because they will kill each other. I was just like, great. But then the other one started to bully Milton, which is the one that I eventually kept. Long story short, I had to go surrender Milton back to them, and it was after 2 weeks, so I didn't get my money back. But I was like, I don't care about the money, I just want you guys to take this one back, because this is the aggressive one, and I don't want him biting Milton,